Let's focus on modeling the seat. I'll select this editable spline and try to extrude it. We're going to run into a problem. It's not extruding in the right direction. This happens because of the local axis of the object. I'll switch to the local reference coordinate system to visualize the problem. Here, the z-axis of this editable spline is going this way, so that controls the extrusion direction. You might think you can fix this by reorienting the pivot, so let's try that. I'll go to the Hierarchy tab, affect the pivot only, rotate it with angle snap so that the z-axis is pointed upward, like that. It looks good. I'll go to Modify and assign the Extrude modifier again. But you'll see that we're left with the same problem. This is actually a common problem when working with splines. It has to do with the creation axis of the object, which can be different than the local axis. So reorienting the pivot wasn't the solution. I'll get rid of Extrude. I'll go back to Hierarchy, affect the pivot, and reset it. So this is the true creation axis of the object. You can always get to that by resetting the pivot. So the solution here is something else. It's not about rotating the pivot. We can trick Max into using the axis that we want by creating a new object that has that axis oriented in our chosen direction. Here I'll sketch a rectangle on the ground because its local z-axis, its creation axis, goes up. And that's the direction I want the seat to go in. Next, convert the rectangle into a spline and attach the seat to it. Now we've tricked Max. It thinks that this subspline's creation direction is up in z. The only problem is we have this rectangle now. Let's get rid of it. I'll go to the spline level, select the subspline, and delete it. While we're at it, I'll move the pivot point to the center of the object. That's not strictly necessary, but it's always a good idea to have the pivot closer to the object in question. Now, when I extrude, it will work correctly. I can extrude the object upward now.